Well, I guess I gotta do a fourth video on this guy. This guy right here, he's streaming right now, is SageCrit. I did 3 prior videos on him, basically giving his background, in case you didn't know who he was, and then explaining what happened with me and him in his chat. I think that was back in April 2020, and until today, July 27th of 2020, this is about the first time went I checked his stream in about 2 or 3 months, and of course, as expected, absolutely nothing has changed. He's still sitting in the exact same spot with the exact same background. But anyway, a little bit ago, I was on a game that I've talked a lot about called Fistful of Frags, and this guy has always played that game for a long time, but this was the first time I ran into him on there after I had gotten banned. I was in a server and I heard him laughing like a witch, and I thought, "Oh god, it's him again." And after I said a couple of words, he said he recognized my voice, and throughout the entire thing I'm going to explain here, I didn't say that much, I should add, because there were so many people talking at once that I could barely put anything in, add anything to the conversation without being talked over. So I didn't say much to start with in the end, but I was basically in the server and there was people talking about all different kinds of stuff. If you're familiar with Fistful of Frags, you know that the community behind that game for the longest time now, it's been extremely toxic. Out of every single game I've played in my life, that is the most toxic game I've ever played. No joke. And there was a lot of people talking about various things, and he started talking, of course, and trying to add to the conversation. He kept low for a little bit at the beginning, but then he started adding stuff and how stuff about Bill Gates and stuff and vaccine, current events, politics, that kind of stuff. And he mentioned that he saw my videos that are on my channel. I asked him how he found my videos, and he said he just Googled his name. Well, not Googled it, he searched it in YouTube, and they just only like 3 videos come up, and mine was like the second one or something. And he went on this weird, enraged rant about how I'm just a big liar, and that the whole reason I did those videos and stuff, those, I guess he would call them hate videos on him, is because of my opinions. I don't agree basically with his opinions on Bill Gates. That's pretty much what he told me. He said I disagree with him on Bill Gates, so that's why I did those videos. When if you've watched those videos, you know that I don't think I even mentioned Bill Gates once. Basically, the entire thing that happened, I'll go over it again, was that I was in his chat one day. He was listening. There was another guy in his chat. And this guy in his chat, the other guy, was suggesting music for him to play. He was listening to that music. It was basically like modern mumble rap, I would call it. And he thought it was pretty good. And I really didn't think it was. So, and as it says right here in his title of his stream, an open discussion. So I was open to discussion. I posted my opinion a couple of times about the music that he was listening to. And he started getting mad at me. I got timed out once, but I figured, I might as well push him to the limit. And I tried suggesting some music to him to expose him to new stuff, some real music, I guess I would call it. Real stuff with real instruments, a real singer that can actually sing it. He can actually hit high notes. He's not talking over a click track, which is what he was listening to, this weird click track rap stuff. I suggested this one song, and he listened to about like 2.5 minutes of it right when a guy was shredding into a guitar. There's this legendary guitar solo in this song, and right when the guy was starting to go into it, he turned the song off, and he really didn't think much of it. And he saw on the side another song by the same people, in case you're wondering what the song is, it was 70s Scenario by Hall& and Oates. There was another song on the side, it was Maneater by Hall& and Oates, a song that's completely overplayed and fed to the masses by corporate higher-ups at radio stations. And of course, he clicked on Maneater and said, "I grew up on music like this." So I try to expose him to new stuff that corporate conglomerates are not going to expose him to, and he goes right to the corporate conglomerate exposure stuff. Like what am I even here for? If you're just going to completely ignore pretty much what I'm trying to do to you, what I'm trying to suggest to you, then why would I even bother? But he went right back to the corporate junk, the overplayed corporate junk, and I don't know. I guess I insulted him a little bit in chat because that pissed me off quite a bit, and I figured, might as well push him some more. And of course, I was banned. That's what happened. That right there is exactly what happened. But when I talked to him in Fistful, he said that it was all about me disagreeing with him about Bill Gates. My opinion on Bill Gates is that could he be a person that's trying to look good but doing bad stuff? Sure. Sure he could be. Do I know for sure? No. And technically, he doesn't know for sure either. Like nobody knows. Only Bill Gates himself knows, and probably his family too. And regardless, if he's this evil person, what does it concern me? Am I going to get the vaccine? I really don't want to, but it's like he's so hyped up about this vaccine stuff. I mean, I don't want to get the vaccine. My opinions on Bill Gates are minimal. Like, what are you getting so pissed off at me about Bill Gates for? It's like this guy, in case you don't know, he's so particular about his life. I also brought up his age. He asked what I was doing, and I said I'm like employed. I got quite a few assets, and I said to him or something like this, like, "You're still 44. You got no assets, and you're unemployed." And he said he didn't really say much, but he said that wasn't his age. When literally, I was in his stream one day, and he literally told that to somebody in his chat that he was born in 1976. Maybe he's 43. Maybe I got that wrong. He's 43. 43, 44, doesn't matter. And I said, maybe you're 54. Could he be 54? Well, I mean, sitting here in a chair all day, uh, staring at a screen probably isn't helping his aging, and smoking weed all day, I should add that. In case you don't know what this guy does, this is what he does. He's unemployed. He lives off of, from what I've heard him say, like some sort of real estate check. He's unemployed. He sits in the chair all day. He plays video games, and that's what he does. He says he exercises sometimes, but do I doubt that? Yeah. And he smokes weed all day. That's what he does. He's high pretty much all day, every day, and he sits in a chair and plays video games. That's what he does. But I don't know. Could he be 54? He could be. I'll turn some audio up here. I guess he's not really saying anything. His stream is so dead. It's funny how he banned me in his stream. His stream was already dead to start with, and it still is. And he's just banning people because their opinions are different than his. On music, by the way, is what it was about. It was about music. It was not about Bill Gates. My opinion was different than his, and therefore he banned me. And his stream is dead to start with, and he's just making it more dead. He's driving people away by banning them and disagreeing with them, even though he says open discussion in his title. But he was on Fistful for a while, and he couldn't. There was too many, like he said, apparently, there was too many idiots on that game, so he had to leave. Because people disagree with him about Bill Gates, and his opinions are so freaking ingrained in his head that he can't take people disagreeing with him. And this guy, by the way, if my lifestyle was like this guy, if I literally judge the amount, this is what he does, by the way. He judges the amount of char on food he eats because apparently char has like some sort of chemical in it that'll like give you cancer or something. If I were to judge all the burgers I ate with how much char is on the burger, I wouldn't get anywhere in life. If I did things like this guy, I wouldn't get anywhere. And that's a perfect example too. Has he gotten anywhere? He's 44 years old. As far as I know, he has like no assets. He's unemployed. He has no kids, no wife. I could see why he hasn't gotten anywhere. He's so freaking paranoid about everything. Another thing is 5G. He's worried that 5G is going to cook everybody alive and give them cancer when it's been completely debunked by multiple videos. There's regulations in place for power of antenna towers, and he's so worried it's going to give everybody cancer and he's against it. It's like, God, if I lived my life like this guy, I'd be just like him. I'd be unemployed in my middle age, without a wife, without kids, without a house. I don't even own a house. He doesn't own one either. He doesn't own a house. I'd be like him. I wouldn't own a house. I wouldn't have a wife. I wouldn't have kids. I'd have like no assets except a car and a computer and some furniture probably. And I'd just be a deadbeat and I'd sit there and I'd smoke weed all day and probably get drunk. That's where I'd be if I had the same beliefs that this guy has. But I don't. I actually try to live my life a little bit. I'm frankly like every on a daily basis, I'm exposing myself to new music and trying to venture out into different things. But him, no, 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 he doesn't. Another thing, by the way, is he says he doesn't use social media, but as you can see right now, he's browsing Reddit and he watches YouTube videos all day and he says he doesn't use social media. It's like how hypocritical is that? But yeah, this guy, I don't know what the word for him would be. Paranoid, lunatic, psychopath, unstable mentally. I don't know.